Everything we do is awesome.
Everything is awesome when you're part of a team. I'm Johnny Say in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and you're
John Hawley, Virginia Beach, Virginia.
And this is John, John, and Jargon. Yay!
Oh, yeah. Do it.
Okay, I wrote down questions in a few minutes just like you did right before we started. So
I didn't write anything down. I forgot.
All right, so workshops. Where do you get your new ideas for the exercises or modules that you're going to do?
Yeah. Okay, I've got a great answer for that, but I'm going to throw this right back at you so you don't have time to think about your own question. Right back at you. Answer your own question.
All right, so I'm going to say I go to Medium and type up the specifics of what I need. Sessions Lab, also good. And then I nerd out on some old school books, like all the way back to like Buckminster Fuller or marketing books from Daniel Pink. Those are my butter, goes good on everything.
Okay. Do you think you could name 10 books that you like, or 5?
Maybe
or that are beneficial?
Yeah, I think you have to read Made to Stick. It has nothing to do with facilitation and everything to do with communication. I think you should read When, they're all by the same person that I'm about to say. When, it's about how the time of day or the time of a moment affects the actual results. Then the next one is The Power of Moments. It's another good example that kind of plays into focusing on experience design. I always like Change by Design, old school design thinking book. And then DESIGNOPEDIA. DESIGNOPEDIA is the ultimate book for finding out tools that you can pull from. Best part is it has case studies that make it super easy to understand when to use it, why to use it, how to use it.
Dude, I'm impressed. If you asked me to name 5 movies, I'd have to be like Star Wars 1 through 5.
And Frozen.
And Frozen 1 and 2. Well, dang, man, that's really good. We should definitely come back to that, because I think personally, what you fill in, and this is something, I'm speaking for you, but I don't know this to be true. We balance each other out in that sense. I don't read a ton. I'm trying to, I'm obviously trying to get better at everything. I've got like 12 different books in my Audible that I'm like, I need to go back and forth on and whatnot. And so you get like so far down into the weeds that to be able to take what you learn and then translate it is one thing. To be able to take what you learn and actually leverage it in a real world scenario is a completely different thing. You could teach somebody all day long how to do something, how long it should take, what the agenda looks like, what the outcomes should be, what happens if, but until you actually do it, there's no way that you actually understand. So my answer to what you just asked, which I think was, how do you get your material, right? Something like that. Yeah, nailed it. Almost everything that I do now, an element of it comes from a mistake that I made back in the day. And so in the very beginning, they were like egregious, where it was just like, hey, had a successful day, but one module failed miserably because I tried something that I had never tried before. Mm-hmm. And then I got the feedback from it, took it, and was like, oh man, I can't believe I was doing it for this. I could do it for that. And I can't believe that the outcome ended up being this for this module and that for this module. Maybe I'll switch them. So like everything was like a guess and check. And I believe that if you, as a facilitator, if you do 10% of new material, or not necessarily new, that doesn't mean in my head that you go out and learn some new methodology. It means trying something new, a different approach or a different timing scheme or something that is different. Roughly 10%. I just throw that out there because it's easy. It's easy to remember it. I think that you're going to learn so much from just that little tiny bit of time that you spend that it'll help you learn all of your own stuff. Because here's the thing. You can learn all of those things and you can leverage them, and you're better than most. So you can actually do it. If I read the same stuff as you, I'd have to make some mistakes and I'd have to learn from my own mistakes, I think. But
yeah, well, here's why. I learned how to play soccer from a book. So if you can take something that's physical and read words about it and then repeat that action, I think that makes it super applicable to anything that I do now. So I can take a book and turn it into a workshop because I could take a book and turn it into soccer, which makes no sense, right? Rapid fire questions. I got a couple. All right.
Okay.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay. Design thinking or design sprinting?
Thinking.
Nice. Okay. In person or virtual?
In person.
Obviously, right? Okay. So what's a big takeaway? What's one tip you would give to people going from in person to remote? One big lesson you learned.
Yeah. Your personality in the real world and your personality behind a computer screen are not the same thing. And so one of the things that, I educate people, I've heard you do this before, when you take somebody else's module or agenda or something and you try it for yourself, you have to account for how much different you are than the person you're learning from. So in the book, maybe this is why it works for you, because you are thinking how you would do something while you're reading it. I can't do two things at once, so that's not me. But the personality that you have in the real world, you can read body language and you can go with the flow and you can make mistakes and cover them up so nobody even has a clue. If something doesn't work, you're able to go, all right, we're going on a 5-minute break. Like, you can't do that stuff in the virtual world. And, Murphy's Law, if it can go wrong, it will. It's going to go wrong in the virtual world. It will absolutely go wrong. And so all the contingency plans that you had in the real world don't necessarily work. So you have to rewire yourself for the personality, the modules, etc. I think the only way that you can do that is with practice. So right back at you. What about you?
Okay, biggest takeaway is lessons. Okay, learn everything about the platform you're going to run your workshop in way before. And then run as many practice ones as you can before your real one. I mean, that's obvious, but didn't do that. And people would ask me questions and I didn't have any solutions. So just like you mentioned, contingency plans. Yeah. I wasn't ready. In a workshop, I mean, people like breakout rooms, people can look to their side and see what other people are doing and copy them. In real life, in breakout rooms, you can't look to your side. You're just isolated. So
that's another thing too. People's personality, in addition to yours, are different in the virtual world too. So like if I told everybody right now to stand up and do some mini jump jacks, everyone's going to be like, oh, John, I'm not going to do that in my own house. And I'm like, well, who's watching you? And it's like, if you were in my class, we would break dance fight. But because you're not and you're on Wonka Vision, we're not able to do that. So huge change. Huge change.
I'm gonna see if I got one more good question. I know we said 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, my thing says 8 minutes and 50 seconds right now.